Hi, my name is Daria, and I'm a personal branding coach. I help service providers, business owners, and entrepreneurs build their profitable and consistent presence on social media. I have my own social media presence that I use to get more clients and more sales for my coaching programs. However, it took me 6 years to take my own social media seriously before I actually turned it into a business. And it wasn't that I didn't know enough, or I didn't strategize enough, or I needed to do like some additional work into that. I honestly remember myself always being so captivated and so excited about social media marketing when I just moved to Canada in 2015. I remember I had like my own Instagram and I had like 300 followers at that point. However, I would write in my post every single day about my journey when I just moved to Canada, like about the school systems, about my day. I was staying in a homestay family. I would write about what it was like and like experiencing different culture and stuff. And I only had 300 followers, but I genuinely enjoyed it so much, and it was so much fun for me to do all of this posts, to write and share it with the friends that I know, and really hoping honestly that I would get quite a little bit more of people to come to my social media as well. And my only regret is that I didn't lean into this feeling a little bit more. I didn't quite rely on this feeling of joy and on this feeling that I actually really enjoy this process, and maybe this is something I should explore more and more. Instead of relying on this feeling, I relied and I believed a different feeling instead. I believed the feeling of I'm not enough. I believed in a feeling of comparing myself and comparing my posts and comparing my social media following with other people. I leaned very heavily into feeling that I have no right and I have no place into showing up on social media, and I should just stop. And honestly, I struggle quite a lot with imposter syndrome majority of my adult life, and like consistently questioning my worth, my sense of belonging, my every single thing about me. I would question it almost all the freaking time. And looking a little bit more from like a step back position, I understand that it of course all comes down to a feeling of confidence, which at that time when I was experiencing all of this stuff, I absolutely didn't have any confidence whatsoever. I didn't believe that I could do this thing, or that I'm worthy enough of doing this thing, and that I know enough, and that my knowledge and my intuition and my skills that I have already learned, that it is enough to do the thing that I want to do. So I would consistently fall into behavior of questioning my own behavior, questioning my own thoughts, overthinking with a huge desire to for everything to be absolutely perfect, and constantly falling into this loop of, oh my god, I really want to do this, but then getting into all of the thinking process and understanding, I probably don't know, I probably should do this instead, or this and this first, or I should try maybe another thing, maybe I don't know enough, or I'll probably fail, or like what is the point of even trying, and then I would not do it. And then again, in the next like few days, few weeks, few months, even few years, I would get this huge desires like, oh my god, I should totally do this thing again. And then I would fall back into the same thinking process and into the same wiring of, what is the point? I am scared. There is no point in trying. And like, to be fair, I still do this. Every single time I'm trying something new, every single time I'm trying something I haven't done before, I would still do that. That happened to me for the first time. I posted my first reel for when I launched my online course, for when I launched my group program, for when I honestly launched a YouTube channel. And every single time, probably whenever I am like sitting down to record a YouTube video, that would come back to me every single time. This overthinking, desire for perfection, fear of rejection, fear of failure, all of that would come down, because this is the behavior, and this is the wire, and this is the thinking process that I am so used to thinking, and that I have to mentally and intentionally take myself out of those thoughts and take myself and redirect myself to somewhere else. Because at the end of the day, imposter syndrome is rooted in perfectionism, is rooted in fear of failure and fear of rejection. And as a human being, we will always be experiencing those things. We will always be afraid of rejection. We will always be afraid of failure, like quite a huge failure. And understanding that this will be a part of your process every single time you're doing something new, that takes a very, very huge part of our brain, because the job of our brain is not to keep us successful, is not to make us wealthy, is not to make us rich. The job of our brain is to keep us safe. And whenever we are trying to have or make new experiences, like posting your very first reel, setting up that Instagram, setting up a business that you really want to have, that is a new experience. And our brain doesn't have proof that this thing will be successful, that this thing will be safe, and we won't be experiencing all of those feelings. So our brain is trying to keep us safe by providing us opportunities of why we shouldn't do it. That's the job of our brain. However, what we need to do is to prove to our brain that this will be safe by taking very small steps and understanding that the world is not going to come and crashing down on you if you're going to post that reel, if you're going to post that story. And your brain needs to have additional positive experience every time you do that. I don't think about that the world is going to come to an end every time I post a reel now, because posting reels, it's such a normal behavior for my brain, and it's such a big part of who I am and what I do and what does my typical day-to-day looks like, that my brain has way more positive experiences when it comes to my social media presence, when it comes to posting reels, that part is so easy. YouTube, however, is not easy, because I don't have enough positive experience to prove to my brain that we can do it every single time. So now every single time I need to record a YouTube video, I have to have a mental dialogue with my own self and with my own brain that we just need to push through this stage. It will be okay. And accepting and realizing that the fear will always be a part of our experiences, and it will always be a part of who we are. It's kind of like you are driving in a car and there is a destination that you want to get to. You want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be an influencer, you want to be really successful at the job that you do, and you're driving, like literally you're driving to the destination. However, there are multiple folks who are driving alongside with you, that maybe it's your confidence, maybe it's your ambitions, maybe it's your anything else that like typically drives you to this goal. Fear will always be a part of that car group circle. Your fear will always be riding alongside with you. The problem is, however, is to ensure that you are not giving fear the driver's seat. You are the driver. You are the one driving to the destination. Fear can chill, backseat, can do whatever talking they want to do. However, they can drive. They shouldn't drive. If they will drive, they will pull over the car and they will stop, and the car is not going to go anywhere. You have to be the one to constantly have the conversation with it, that its place is in the passenger seat right behind you. It's going to be here with you because the fear is here to keep us safe. However, it needs to be in the passenger seat. And I had to literally rewire my own brain to consistently remind myself that I am in a driver's seat. My fear is not driving the car. Nothing else is driving the car except for me, and I am the driver. And it's all about taking full responsibilities and full ownership for your own life, for your own actions, for your own successes, for your own failures. And yes, I do have the tips and couple of exercises that can help you do that. First thing that I do whenever I'm experiencing any fears, any doubts, imposter syndrome, a huge wave of perfectionism rolling in, is I'm sitting with my feelings. I am sitting with my feelings alone in silence, and I just let them be. I need to experience the feelings, and I need to acknowledge that they are here, and I am going through this process, and they're part of my experience right now. If we are constantly running away from our feelings and we're running away from our emotions, we do not allow our heart to be vulnerable and open and to actually explore everything that this feeling has to offer. So what I typically do, I just shut myself off from any online space, from any communication for like the time being. And like that experience is not that huge. I believe it only takes a human around 90 seconds to process and to live through the emotion. So it takes like a couple of minutes to do that. And typically, especially when it's the summertime, I would go to the balcony. I won't take my phone, anything. I would just be there by myself, and I would close my eyes and I would deep through this experience, because that would help me understand and accept that I'm living through this experience right now. And the point is not to calm yourself down and completely ignore the feeling. The point is to stay with your feeling, acknowledge it, and see where it takes you. Like, what are you experiencing in that moment? And then second thing is accepting that what I'm feeling right now is 100% valid. I'm not trying to gaslight myself and telling myself that, like, no, Daria, you're wrong. Like, we are not experiencing this right now. No, if I am scared, I will acknowledge this right now. If I am scared of rejection, if I'm scared of failure, if I'm scared of judgment, that this is a conversation that I need to have with myself right at this point. However, what I also need to recognize is that I'm not that feeling. That feeling is part of me at the moment, but it's not me. It's not me in a consistent, constant basis. It's just me at this duration of the time. At this very moment, at this very second, I am scared right now. I am anxious right now. But I am experiencing those feelings, but those feelings are not me. I am feeling scared. I'm feeling anxious. But Daria, in a nutshell, as a person, being scared is not part of who she is in the narratives that I created for myself. So understanding that I can experience those feelings, but those feelings are not me. And then whenever I need to go a little bit deeper with those feelings, or when I feel like those feelings are overwhelming for me, I journal, because it's the best damn thing in the world. And what I typically write is a best and worst case scenario. What would happen in absolute worst case scenario if I do this thing? What I remember when I just started my social media, I would go so hard on that exercise, because I honestly believe that every single time I would post a story, I would post a reel, that like the world will literally come to an end if I will do this. And I would write it down that if I will post a reel right now, all my friends will stop talking to me, because I am so freaking awkward and so freaking cringe, and this is just the stupidest thing in the world. I won't have any friends, my husband will leave me, and I will die alone. This is obviously, and then like you look at it and you understand like how freaking ridiculous it is. There is no way that this would have happened, but I let my brain take me to the darkest place in my mind, to the fear of rejection, to the fear of loneliness, to all of those fears, and like just let it be. And then I looked at it and like, yeah, that's not going to happen. Like, I will be okay. That's just a stupid reel. And then I would write down a best case scenario after that. So what would happen if I do post a reel? What would happen if I do pursue the business? What would happen if I do leave my 9 to 5 job and pursue my passion and my entrepreneurship journey? What would happen then? And then I would let myself, and then I'm going to let my brain to focus on all of these positive experiences and all of this great perks that I do want to get for myself, and I would focus on those instead. Because when you're focusing on a worst case scenario, for me, I would look at it and that would be absolutely ridiculous, and then I would realize that there would be probably no way it could have happened. But for the best scenario in the world, I would look at it and I'd be like, I really want this to happen. So taking this action that I want is going to be part of the step that I want to have. And a very important thing here is that like throughout these 3 stages, and a little bit before and after that, for some time, I don't talk to people. I don't talk to my husband about my feelings. I don't talk to my sisters, my friends about these feelings. I just let myself process it by myself. And I let my own brain to guide me, and I let my own feelings and emotions to guide me. Because typically whenever we are experiencing all of those big feelings and all of those big stuff that we are trying to work through at the moment, whenever we are talking about it with our loved ones, they're going to provide an evaluation of some kind, and they're gonna provide you the feedback. They're gonna give you, because they will provide their own experience based on their point of views and their previous experience and their past experience, both positive and negative. And you do not want those positive and negative, especially negative experience, to be part of your own process and to be part of your own journey. Now, whenever I am outside of those big feelings, of those big emotions, and when I processed them by myself, I would share my experience with my husband, with my friends, with my sisters, with my loved ones, that this is a process that I went through. I was so scared. This is what I arrived to, and this was the conclusion. However, I wouldn't allow them to provide their own evaluation, and they're more than welcome to share their own experience in relation to them. They're more than welcome to share their own processes of what they are doing when they're feeling scared and insecure, but they're not allowed to provide any take into my own experience unless it's a tip on how they have already done it. And I only take advice and I only take tips and tricks and whatnot from people who already went through the same journey as I'm taking right now. Because I have a lot of incredible people, but unless they have done this entrepreneurship online business themselves and they build this thing that I'm trying to build, their advice and their evaluation and their feedback is valid, but I'm not going to take it. And exactly the same like it works with your own fears, where you have to be the one to process and to go through your own fears, and what your loved ones think about your fears and your processes and your goals and where you want to take all of your fears and all of your emotions. It's only up to you. It's not up to them. They're more than welcome to provide support, but anything outside of the pure love and support is not needed, and you can deal with it by yourself. And fears in general have such a big presence in my life, and I am by myself, like in my foundation, in being like a person that I am. I'm generally a fears-driven person, meaning that I'm scared of a lot of shit. Like, honestly, like there is a lot of stuff that I'm scared of, and there is a lot of stuff that I wouldn't do or I wouldn't pursue because of my desire and my motivation of safety. But me pursuing an entrepreneurship journey in this sense makes no freaking sense whatsoever, because entrepreneurship is not stable, is not safe, is not consistent, and there is a lot of ups and downs. But entrepreneurship is aligned with the visions that I have for myself. And every single day, every single morning, I journal. I journal in a relation of my higher self. And my higher self is the woman that I am building and I'm trying to be in the next 5-10 years. And I have a very clear vision of what this woman is like, what she does, what she doesn't do, and how she lives and operates in this world. And whenever I am experiencing a new fear, and I'm trying to do something that I haven't done before, and I know that this experience is very, very scary for me, and I have no idea what I'm doing, I'm always coming back from this mindset of my higher self. For example, I'm afraid to start my YouTube channel. In this very moment, Daria is scared to start her own YouTube channel. However, Daria, in 10 years from now, she has a very, very big and massive following on her YouTube channel. So a YouTube channel is part of my experience and is part of the journeys that I'm trying to build. And Daria right now is scared, but Daria, in my 5-10 year vision, is not scared to start her own YouTube video and to talk to the camera for like the next 5, 10, 30 minutes. So I will operate and I will take actions not based on my feelings at the moment, but based on the feelings and experiences that I am trying to build for myself from the higher self vision. This allows me to understand that I'm just scared at this moment, but the vision that I'm trying to build for myself in the future, in the long run, that fear has no place to be there. And I'm trying to operate from this higher self-vision perspective all the time, because if every single time I take an action, and I take an action from the place of a mindset of a woman that I'm trying to be, it's much, much easier for me to go through this journey, and it's much, much easier for me to operate, because in my mind, in my manifested very clear visions that I'm trying to build for myself, this stuff is not scary for me anymore. I do this on a consistent basis for myself all the freaking time. So the fact that I'm scared right now, it's okay. But Daria in 10 years is not going to be scared of this experience. It's going to be a normal experience for her. So it allows me to return to my own feeling and to understand that this is normal. I am okay to experience it. But this fear does not define me. And this fear is not part of the vision that I have for myself. So this rewiring of always thinking and operating from the higher self vision, not from what you're experiencing right now, but from what you actually want to experience and from where you actually want to be in life, and taking those fears and understanding like what you are going to be scared of at that point, and if it's part of your journey or not. Like, for example, I would never go mountain biking, and like Daria in this stage would never do it. Daria 5 years ago would never do it. Daria in 5 years ago, I'm gonna make a crazy guess and say that she would never do it as well. So the fact that I'm scared to try it, it's valid, and I don't wanna overcome that fear because this doesn't look exciting or fun to me. So I'm just not gonna do it. But other stuff that I want myself to experience in the next 5 to 10 years, hell yes, I will absolutely do that. And the final exercise that I really want to share with you, that really helped me, and that I come back to at least once a quarter for the past year, is write down every single thing that you have done from the very first moment you started making money. Like for me, I made my first money when I was 16, and I had, if you didn't know, I was baking cakes. It was kind of like custom order baker. I used to be very good at baking, obviously not anymore. I like burned pancakes a couple of days ago, and they were absolutely horrible. I was paid to bake cakes, and I had my classmates, my teachers, my parents' friends order a bunch of cakes for their birthday, for their celebration, all the freaking time. And from that point, when I was 16, from making those first money up until like the moment where I am right now, writing year by year what people paid you for to do something, like they paid you money and then you provided something in the return. What was that you provided in return? And writing down every single win and every single achievement that you have done from that very first moment. And even if it's some kind of failure or some kind of failed project that you were leading or you had done, write down what it taught you throughout this experience and why it was important and what was the takeaway from that. And when you go through this giant list of all the incredible things that you have done since the very first moment you start making money up until the point, it's going to be very hard for you to be questioning your own worth, because there is so much incredible stuff that you have done throughout your entire experience. And there are so many things and there are so many successes that you were part of, that it's just gonna prove to you that you are awesome, you are incredible, you are 100% worthy, and then you should be confident in your own skills and in your own successes, because you absolutely are incredible. I really hope this video was helpful to you. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I would really appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.